Ancient tablets, alien mummies, UFOs, secret bases all point to one truth. Aliens have been here all along, and I can prove it. In the early 2000s off the coast of California, US Navy pilots encountered something that defied every known law of aerodynamics. They called them Tic Tac UFOs because of their smooth, capsule-like shape about the size of a fighter jet, with no wings, no visible engines, and no exhaust. These objects weren't just hovering. They were moving with such acceleration that even the most advanced aircraft on Earth couldn't keep up. Multiple pilots reported seeing them drop from altitudes of over 60,000 feet to just above the ocean in less than a second, then dart away at unbelievable speeds. This wasn't a lone radar glitch or a single eyewitness. It was confirmed on multiple Navy radar systems, infrared cameras, and visually by experienced pilots. The footage, released by the Pentagon, showed these Tic Tacs tracking Navy strike groups for days, as if studying them. Some hovered motionless in high winds, while others zipped off at angles that would crush a human pilot. Engineers who analyzed the movement concluded that these crafts were not using propulsion methods we understand. There was no heat signature, no sonic boom, and no fuel source visible. If these objects are foreign drones, they would represent a leap in technology so vast, it would rewrite modern engineering. If aliens are already among us, this could be one of the clearest pieces of proof. These encounters happened in our skies, were documented by our most advanced military systems, and still have no official explanation. The technology is so far ahead of ours that the idea of it being man-made seems almost less believable than the possibility that it belongs to something or someone, not from here. In the deserts of southern Peru, far from any bustling city, archaeologists have unearthed mummies with skulls so elongated that they look almost otherworldly. These are not crude fakes or the result of camera tricks, they're preserved remains, thousands of years old, with cranial shapes unlike anything found in modern humans. While head binding was a known practice in several ancient cultures, these particular skulls stand out. Some show a cranial capacity far larger than any human average, and their bone structure is thicker, with fewer sutures connecting the plates of the skull. A team of independent researchers sent DNA samples from several of these mummies to international labs for analysis. The results, though controversial, raised eyebrows. Parts of the genetic material did not match typical human markers, at least not within any known historical population. Critics argued about contamination or testing errors, yet the unusual features remained undeniable. These were not simply cultural artifacts of head shaping. Some of the skulls have proportions that head binding cannot fully explain. Local legends among the Paracas people speak of star beings who came from above and lived among them. According to these tales, these beings were taller, pale-skinned, and possessed strange powers. It's tempting to dismiss this as mythology, yet the physical evidence in the ground tells its own story. Even seasoned archaeologists admit these skulls are anatomically peculiar. Whether they were the result of an isolated mutation, interbreeding with an unknown group, or something far stranger, these mummies remain one of the most tangible physical anomalies tied to ancient alien theories. Standing face to face with one of these skulls in a museum is unsettling. The sloping forehead, massive cranium, and strange jawline make it hard not to feel as though you're looking at something, or someone that didn't quite belong on Earth. Off the coast of Southern California lies Catalina Island, a popular getaway for tourists and a hotspot for some of the most persistent UFO sightings in the United States. But here, the sightings often have a twist. The objects are seen plunging into or emerging from the ocean, moving beneath the waves at speeds no submarine can match. These are not casual observations from vacationers with binoculars. Military sonar operators and trained pilots have reported detecting massive underwater objects, sometimes over 100 yards in length, traveling without noise or visible propulsion. In one well-documented case, a Navy ship's sonar tracked a huge craft moving from the deep Pacific toward the shore at a velocity faster than any known underwater vehicle. When helicopters were dispatched to investigate, strange aerial lights appeared above the location, as if guarding or escorting whatever was below. Once the lights vanished into the sky, the sonar contact disappeared just as suddenly. Some researchers believe there could be a permanent alien base beneath the ocean floor near Catalina. The area's deep trenches and volcanic geography could easily hide massive structures from human detection. In fact, aerial mapping has revealed odd, symmetrical shapes on the seabed. too regular for most natural formations, sparking speculation that these are entrances to an underwater facility. One of the most controversial theories in UFO research is that some extraterrestrials can walk among us undetected because they can change their appearance. This isn't just the stuff of comic books or science fiction shows. Intelligence insiders, whistleblowers, and even a few ex-military personnel have gone on record hinting that shape-shifting is a real possibility. The core idea is simple: a being with advanced control over its molecular structure or the ability to project a perfect illusion could blend into human society without raising suspicion. Some UFO researchers connect this theory to the long history of Men in Black reports, where strange visitors show up in perfectly pressed suits, display odd mannerisms, and vanish without a trace. Witnesses often describe these individuals as often some way symmetrical to the point of uncanny, speaking without natural pauses or having eyes that seem unusually deep or reflective. These could be crude attempts to mimic human behavior, like a mask that's just slightly askew. Cultural stories from all over the world, from Norse legends of skinwalkers to African tales of animal people, might be echoes of ancient encounters with these beings. Modern accounts sometimes come from high-profile environments like politics or media, where certain figures are rumored to be not quite human. While hard evidence is scarce, the consistency of these descriptions across time and geography makes the idea unnervingly plausible. If such beings exist, they wouldn't need flying saucers to reach us. They could be standing in the crowd, shaking hands and smiling for cameras, all while gathering whatever information they came for. In late 2017, astronomers detected something racing through our solar system on a trajectory that made it clear it had come from far beyond. Named Oumuamua, this object was unlike any asteroid or comet ever seen. It was long and thin, some said shaped like a cigar, others like a flattened pancake, and it tumbled through space without producing the usual dust or gas trails we expect from icy bodies. But the real shock came when scientists measured its motion. It was accelerating, as if something were propelling it. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb suggested that Oumuamua might be artificial, possibly a piece of alien technology, like a light sail driven by starlight. While many astronomers leaned toward natural explanations, none could fully account for all its strange properties. No one saw it coming before it was already past Earth, and no telescope could get a close enough look before it sped away toward deep space. Adding to the mystery, its reflective surface and unusual spin pattern didn't match anything in the catalog of known cosmic bodies. Some argued it could be a fragment of a much larger construct, broken off in another star system. Others believed it might have been sent intentionally, a probe that only needed to pass close to planets to gather information. While we'll likely never know for sure, Oumuamua proved something important. Visitors from other star systems can and do enter our cosmic neighborhood. If this was a piece of alien engineering, it means the first confirmed interstellar object we've ever observed might also be the first proof we're not alone. So, back in 2011, a team of Swedish treasure hunters scanning the Baltic Sea floor stumbled upon something extraordinary. At a depth of around 300 feet, sonar images revealed a massive circular object, roughly 200 feet across, with what appeared to be a staircase-like structure leading into it. The shape looked too perfect to be natural symmetrical lines, smooth curves and sharp edges that seemed carved or engineered. Divers who went down to investigate described the surface as having unusual grooves, and a material more like metal or concrete than stone. Some even claimed their electronic equipment failed when they got too close, as if a strong electromagnetic field surrounded the structure. Even stranger, there appeared to be a trail behind it, as though the object had skidded along the seabed before coming to a stop. Skeptics insist it's a natural rock formation shaped by glacial activity, but others point to the anomalies in the sonar readings and the odd, regular patterns on the object itself. If it is artificial, it raises a wild possibility this could be the wreckage of a craft that crashed into Earth's oceans thousands of years ago. Given the Baltic's harsh, cold waters, such a structure could remain preserved for millennia. For now, the Baltic Sea anomaly sits silently in the dark, fueling debates about whether we're looking at a relic from another world or the most misleading rock formation in history. During a restricted excavation in an undisclosed tomb near the Valley of the Kings, researchers reportedly uncovered a mummy unlike any ever seen. The figure wore the unmistakable striped Nemes headdress of Egyptian royalty, Yet its facial structure stunned those present large, deep-set eyes, an elongated skull, and skin that had preserved with an unusual, almost leathery texture. The proportions didn't match human anatomy, leading some experts to quietly suggest the remains were either heavily altered in life or belonged to something non-human. What's especially intriguing is that the burial followed all the rituals of a pharaoh's interment, complete with golden ornaments and an ornate staff, implying this being was not only accepted among the elite but may have ruled. Official statements described the find only as highly unusual, but whispers from those connected to the dig claim advanced scanning revealed internal features unlike any recorded in Egyptian mummies. For decades, ranchers around the world have reported a disturbing and baffling phenomenon: perfectly healthy cattle found dead with surgical-level incisions, missing specific organs and no signs of predators or struggle. What's even stranger is that the bodies are often drained of blood entirely, yet there are no tracks, footprints, or tire marks nearby. These incidents often happen overnight, and the affected animals are sometimes discovered lying in open fields under a clear sky. Veterinary examinations in multiple cases have confirmed that the cuts are clean and precise, as though done with tools far more advanced than any handheld blade. Some wounds are cauterized instantly, leaving no signs of bleeding. Helicopters, drones, and other human explanations have been suggested, but they fail to account for the total lack of evidence on the ground. Many UFO researchers believe these incidents could be linked to extraterrestrials studying Earth's biology, perhaps gathering genetic material or testing for environmental contamination. While the theory might sound like something from a sci-fi thriller, even law enforcement reports have acknowledged the unexplained nature of the mutilations. If true, this would suggest a level of covert surveillance on our planet that's both methodical and highly advanced. Whether the motive is scientific research, resource collection, or something entirely beyond human understanding, the precision and secrecy of these events hint at a presence that operates just beyond our reach, but well within our skies. Among the most controversial claims in UFO research is the idea that a secret program exists to integrate human-alien hybrids into our society. Whistleblowers and alleged insiders describe advanced facilities where genetic experiments combine human DNA with that of non-human beings. The supposed goal? To create individuals who can live undetected among us while carrying traits or abilities from their extraterrestrial lineage. Some of these sources claim that hybrids look fully human but may possess enhanced cognition, unusual resilience, or heightened sensory perception. There are even rumors that such individuals are strategically placed in positions of influence from science to policy, guiding humanity toward long-term goals we can't yet see. While official agencies have dismissed such talk as fiction, leaked documents and testimony from former contractors add fuel to the speculation. This theory connects with the idea of a soft acclimation program, where the public is slowly introduced to the concept of non-human intelligence. If hybrids are indeed living here, it means alien contact has already gone far beyond flyovers and distant encounters. It would also mean that alien influence isn't just approaching Earth, it's already sitting in offices, walking our streets, and shaping our future. Not all researchers believe aliens come from other planets. Some suggest they originate from entirely different dimensions realities, layered over our own but normally inaccessible. According to this theory, these beings can slip between worlds using advanced manipulation of space-time. That would explain why UFOs seem to vanish without a trace, perform maneuvers that defy physics, or appear in one location and then instantly in another. This concept isn't just fringe speculation. Physicists exploring the nature of reality have theorized about parallel universes and extra dimensions beyond the three we perceive. If a civilization mastered movement between them, they wouldn't need to cross interstellar distances at all. They could step from their reality into ours in an instant. Eyewitness accounts sometimes support this idea, describing craft that appear translucent, flicker in and out of view, or seem to phase through solid matter. If these travelers exist, their presence on Earth might be more common than we realize. They could be here, but only partially visible, moving in a way that lets them observe us while remaining almost entirely undetectable. Throughout human history, civilizations have described encounters with luminous beings descending from the sky. In many cultures, these were seen as gods or divine messengers. But some theorists suggest these gods may have been advanced extraterrestrials, using their superior technology and knowledge to influence human societies. The stories of flying chariots, glowing wheels, and beings with radiant armor found in ancient texts could just as easily describe spacecraft in advanced suits. Religious icons holding spheres, staffs, or other mysterious objects might be depicting tools or devices we didn't have words for at the time. If aliens have visited us repeatedly throughout history, it's possible they chose to appear in forms humans would accept, blending into our spiritual frameworks. They may have taught early humans agriculture, astronomy, and architecture under the guise of divine instruction. This would mean humanity's greatest leaps forward were guided not from inspiration alone, but from direct contact with an intelligence far older and wiser than our own. So, the legend of the Men in Black has been around for decades, these mysterious figures in spotless black suits, showing up in those sleek cars and warning UFO witnesses to just, keep quiet. While pop culture has kind of turned them into comic heroes, the real accounts are honestly way more unsettling. Witnesses describe their skin as unnaturally pale, their speech as oddly mechanical, and their movements as just a little off, like they're mimicking human behavior, but haven't quite nailed it. Some researchers even believe these aren't government operatives at all, but alien-human hybrids tasked with controlling the flow of information. They appear after major UFO sightings, sometimes even before a report is made public, which, you gotta admit, suggests access to information no human agency could possibly have in time. In some cases, they've been described as having eyes that never blink, or voices that just seem to echo in a weird way. If these entities are real, their purpose might not be to protect humanity from fear, but to protect the visitors themselves from being exposed. The Men in Black legend fits pretty neatly into the bigger picture of a hidden alien presence, operating quietly but decisively among us. Discovered in Chile's Atacama Desert back in 2003, the tiny mummified body known as the Atacama humanoid immediately sparked worldwide debate. Measuring just 6 inches long, it had this elongated skull, an unusually hard bone structure, and even a set of fully developed teeth features you just wouldn't expect in something so small. The proportions didn't match those of a human fetus, a child, or really any known animal in the region. Genetic tests confirmed that, a lot of its DNA was human, but there were some anomalies mutations scientists just couldn't fully explain, especially in genes related to bone growth and structure. While some concluded it was just a case of severe genetic disorder, others saw those irregularities as possible evidence of non-human influence. Its mysterious origin, along with its perfect preservation in one of the driest places on Earth, has led to all sorts of theories. For some folks, this tiny body is physical proof that alien life isn't always towering and humanoid sometimes. It can be small, adapted to survive in ways we still don't really understand. One of the most unsettling theories about alien presence is that, they don't always disguise themselves as people sometimes, they hide as objects. Over the years, there have been reports of UFO-like devices camouflaged as totally ordinary things, clouds moving against the wind, streetlights with weird mechanical parts inside, or wildlife behaving in ways that, honestly, no animal should. The idea is that advanced extraterrestrial surveillance doesn't have to look alien at all. A perfect disguise could be something we walk past every single day without thinking twice. With nanotechnology and advanced materials, an alien probe could look like a rock, a piece of trash, or even a bird, all while recording and transmitting a ton of data. Urban legends tell of mechanical owls spotted out in rural areas, or strange featureless cars just parked for days with no driver in sight. While it's easy to brush these stories off, they play right into the bigger idea that we might be surrounded by watchers, and honestly, we'd never know unless one of those disguises slipped up. In the winter of 1980, a quiet patch of forest in Suffolk, England, became the site of one of the most famous UFO encounters in history. Over 2 nights, multiple U.S. Air Force personnel stationed at the nearby RAF Woodbridge base reported seeing strange lights moving through the trees. Some described a glowing metallic craft resting on the forest floor. Others reported beams of light shining down from above, illuminating the ground like searchlights from the sky. The most credible accounts came from officers trained to observe and record accurately. Deputy Base Commander Charles Halt even made an audio recording as events unfolded, describing the light's movements in real time. Witnesses reported getting close enough to see symbols etched into the craft's hull, which some tried to sketch afterward. On the ground, investigators later found small triangular impressions and unusual levels of radiation, as if something heavy had briefly landed there. Skeptics have blamed misidentified lighthouses or bright stars, but those explanations fail to account for the consistent testimonies from multiple trained observers and the physical traces on the site. The Rendlesham case remains officially unexplained and is often called Britain's Roswell. For many, it's one of the clearest indications that whatever these visitors are, they're willing to come close even within a few feet of human witnesses before vanishing without a trace. So, at this remote excavation site, researchers were honestly stunned when they uncovered a small carved tablet. It showed a human woman in a close embrace with a tall, skeletal alien figure. The alien's elongated skull and thin frame were depicted with such remarkable detail, it almost felt like the artist had actually seen it in person. Surrounding the image were strange symbols belonging to no known language. Some folks believe these symbols hide a forgotten message, while others think they're a fusion of human and alien writing. Whatever the case, the scene shows no fear, only affection, hinting at an ancient bond that may have crossed the boundary between worlds. The ancient astronaut theory, it proposes that humanity didn't evolve entirely on its own. Instead, it suggests that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization visited Earth way back in prehistoric times and directly influenced our genetic development. Supporters of this theory point to sudden leaps in human intelligence, the rapid spread of agriculture, and the abrupt rise of complex civilizations as evidence of outside intervention. Ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe, built with remarkable precision thousands of years before the invention of the wheel, really fuel that speculation. Some researchers believe the advanced engineering and astronomical alignments found there and in places like the pyramids of Egypt were made possible by knowledge passed down from non-human teachers. Ancient art often depicts strange figures wearing what look like helmets, breathing devices, or carrying tools that honestly resemble modern technology. If true, this theory would mean we are, in part, a product of alien design and that our creators might still be monitoring us. The idea transforms the search for extraterrestrial life into something deeply personal. We might not just be looking for neighbors in the cosmos. We could be searching for our makers. Now, here's one of the more mind-bending theories about aliens. Maybe they aren't visitors from another planet at all. Maybe they're us, from the distant future. This concept suggests that what we call aliens are actually highly evolved humans who have mastered time travel and returned to study their own past. The large heads, slender bodies, and huge eyes, often described in alien sightings, could be the result of millennia of evolution in a technology-driven environment. If future humans have the ability to manipulate time, their visits to our era could be for research, preservation of history, or even to subtly influence events to ensure their own existence. That would explain why so many alien encounters seem observational rather than hostile. They might be studying us the way archaeologists study ancient civilizations. Some supporters of this idea also point out the similarities between reported alien craft maneuvers and theoretical models of time travel involving gravitational manipulation. If the theory is correct, then aliens are not just part of our universe's history, they're part of our family tree, watching over their ancestors from a vantage point we can barely imagine. That's about it. So, do you believe that aliens are already among us? Write in the comments. And for more useful information, be sure to watch our other videos.